Healthcare professionals working in the UC system went on strike today. They believe that a 2% raise is not enough.
The debate about rent control is heating up as Election Day nears. We'll hear from both sides.
I'm here in front of LA Unified School District headquarters where a major protest just occurred. More on that later.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Thousands of University of California healthcare and service workers walked out today. Good evening, I'm Roy Pankey.
And I'm Sophia Hausch. A 3-day strike began at UCLA. Annenberg Media's Tyra Majors talked to workers about their demands.
If we don't get it, if we don't get it.
At UCLA today, hundreds of healthcare workers staged a walkout in front of their medical center. The strike is being led by the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employee Union.
Labor dispute can be summarized into 2 words: inequality and outsourcing.
The employees are asking for an 8% wage increase and want the university to stop hiring outside workers to do their job.
This university is supposed to be, a leader. It's supposed to stand for optimism. It's supposed to stand for opportunity. It's supposed to stand for leveling the playing field.
Students also showed their support for the strike today.
I really want to support UC workers because it's absolutely vital, and they're awesome people and they deserve dignity and respect.
The last time university service workers went on a 3-day strike was back in May. That prompted 53,000 service workers to walk off the job. This statewide action comes after years of tension between the union and the UC system. UCLA's last offer was a 2% raise.
A 2% raise in Los Angeles, California, when the economy is booming out here, to me, it doesn't make sense.
In a statement to Annenberg Media, UCLA Health says their biggest priority is to provide safe, high-quality care. But to give quality care, workers want to see a change.
Settle our contracts so we can get back to work and give you and continue to do the great work we do with taking care of our patients and students.
The statewide strike will last until Thursday. For Annenberg Media, I'm Tyra Majors.
More alleged victims of former USC gynecologist George Tyndall spoke out today. They are part of the new lawsuit against the doctor and the university filed by attorney Gloria Allred.
I remember leaving his office that day and thinking that he was creepy. That was the word in my mind, creepy. But again, I had no choice but see him for annual exams and other gynecological issues while at the school.
There are 14 female plaintiffs in this latest lawsuit. On Friday, USC agreed to a $215 million settlement with Tyndall's former patients. And the total number of women bringing suits against Tyndall and the university is now more than 400. Annenberg Media reached out to the university for a comment on the latest lawsuit, but has not heard back yet. Tyndall may lose his medical license now that formal accusations have been brought by state regulators.
A new study reveals that LA school police punish black students far more than any other group. Only 10% of students in the LA Unified School District are black, but they received 25% of citations, arrests, and diversions from the LA School Police Department from 2014 to 2017. Other racial groups received proportionately fewer enforcement actions.
The overall argument would be, what if we think about shifting investments out of policing and into the core function of our school sites, education and support services for young people and their families.
The researchers say these findings are important because students who enter the juvenile justice system are more likely to end up in prison as adults. More than 100 teachers, students, and parents are rallying to pressure LAUSD Superintendent Austin Buettner to make changes such as hiring more teachers. Annenberg Media's Colin Taylor is live at the rally. Colin?
So I'm out here in front of LA Unified School District headquarters where plenty of parents, teachers, and students all came out today to hold a news conference and a rally to call out Superintendent Austin Buettner and the school board to, quote, quit stalling and reach an agreement with teachers, parents, and the communities. Now, in this rally, they really wanted to address that they wanted the board to meet certain demands. And on your screen now, you should be seeing those demands. And they are to, one, spend the $1.86 billion reserve on hiring more teachers, counselors to ultimately reduce class sizes. Additionally, they want the board to support long-term funding, such as through tax reform. And lastly, they want other changes such as ending random searches or unnecessary standardized testing. Now, one of the main points being driven home today was, after talking to a couple teachers, was they really want those smaller class sizes. With this, they can spend more time on the kids, both in the classroom in terms of education and outside of the classroom, allowing them to really thrive and develop as children and eventually valuable members of the society. Now here with me is Carla Garcia. She's a parent for LA Unified. How are you doing, Carla, today?
I'm doing very well today. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So the demonstration has started to die down.
That's right.
So how do you think it went today?
I think it went very well. I think it shows how many parents care that all of us found a way to be downtown from all of our different districts, and we got here because the teachers matter, and their requests aren't outrageous. I think they're very reasonable, and I think knowing what we know, that an agreement that's fair to the teachers is not out of reach, and temperatures need to calm down so that we can get things done for the schools and for our children and for our teachers.
Well, how do you see the future? You guys going to keep fighting and you keep demonstrating? What's the future plans, do you think?
Well, we have to until it's changed, don't we? We don't have a choice. I mean, what they want to do is they want more charter schools.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there, but thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh,
yes,
sure.
But thank you, Carla. I appreciate it. Have a great day, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
For Annenberg Media, I'm Colin Taylor. Back to you guys at the studio.
According to a study released today by a Washington, D.C. think tank, California has lost more than 500,000 jobs to China after China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001. The total number of jobs lost to China nationwide was 3.4 million. More than 1 million of those jobs were in computer manufacturing. Apparel manufacturing was the second hardest hit industry, 169,000 jobs lost. The undergraduate student government is asking students to voice their opinions about upcoming USG election regulations. Our political anchor Morgan Stevens has more.
That's right. USG is overhauling its election code and searching for student input. Students are encouraged to write their suggestions online. This could affect rules for candidate endorsements, campaigning, and deadlines in upcoming elections. To make a suggestion, go to usg.usc.edu. Click on Elections at the top of the screen and scroll down to the Click Me button. This will lead you to a shared Google Doc where students can leave feedback on the tentative election code.
We knew we wanted to make the elections process a lot more transparent this year and just try to make it as open and as clear as possible what exactly we're trying to achieve. So we would like to make sure that we are having everyone's opinions heard and having everyone's opinions, matter in this process.
Students have until next Monday to comment on the election code. The USG Senate Committee will then vote on any changes. Back to you, Roy and Sophia.
Thanks, Morgan. Who says there's no such thing as a free ride? Due to a program glitch over the weekend and into Monday, USC riders were getting free rides to locations outside of the 2-mile lift radius. Some students got free rides to locations as far as Malibu. USC Transportation has confirmed with Lyft that USC credit was not spent on these rides. The glitch has been corrected.
Our LA Dodgers are currently playing in the World Series. Let's send it over to our sports anchor, Robbie Aronson, who has more. Robbie?
We go to Boston, where the Dodgers are facing off with the Red Sox in Game 1 of the World Series. The Dodgers are in their second consecutive World Series after defeating the Brewers in the NLCS. Now let's take you to a live update. The Red Sox currently lead 2-0 at the bottom of the first. Clayton Kershaw is off to a little bit of a rough start, allowing 2 runs and 3 hits to just 4 hitters. Roy and Sophia, back to you guys.
USC received a grant today to study cystic fibrosis. Find out which celebrity the donation honors.
E-scooter companies are riding themselves into trouble, but one company says their scooters are no more dangerous than bikes.
And Mexican staple El Cholo celebrates its 95th anniversary today with its famous dish. We'll be right back.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 5 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Got a quarter? Popular e-scooter companies are under fire. A new lawsuit says Bird and Lime, along with 2 other scooter companies, should be held responsible for medical costs and safety lapses. Danny McCarthy talks to the lawyer about what the plaintiffs want.
E-scooters, like Bird and Lime, were designed to be eco-friendly alternatives to cars, bikes, and the metro. A rider must download the app, provide a form of payment and a driver's license, and then scout the map for available scooters, scan the barcode, and start riding.
I've ridden a Bird a couple times. You know, it was fun. It definitely is a lot faster than I thought it was.
The lawsuit was filed by 8 people who have been injured by e-scooters, 1 rider, and 1 handicapped person, who said that they were inconvenienced and hindered by the placement of a discarded scooter. Their lawyer says that these companies need to do more to ensure safety.
These scooters should be checked before every ride. And the scooter companies, Bird and Lime, are not doing that. They're checking them very infrequently. They're reactive instead of proactive.
The lawsuit reaffirmed what some people already believe.
Well, objectively, it's like one of the reasons I didn't ride it in the first place. So it's unsafe and stupid. So
it's definitely interesting to know because this is the first time I've heard of like something like this, but I don't really think it would stop me from my interest in riding it again.
In a statement responding to the lawsuit, Bird says that their scooters are no more dangerous than bikes and that they're safer than cars, which they claim cause 40,000 deaths a year. Some people believe that it's up to the user to stay safe.
I feel like that's like kind of like me on my skateboard. Like every time I fall on McClintock or like somewhere, I know that it's 100% my fault. Like I just can't balance.
The lawyer in the suit says it's not her goal to stop these companies completely.
We just want it to be safer. We want compensation for our injury victims, and we want the scooters to be safer.
In their statements, both Bird and Lime say that safety is their first priority. For Annenberg Media, I'm Danny McCarthy.
Traffic came to a standstill today on the 101 freeway. A small German World War II airplane crashed just before the Liberty Canyon Road exit near Agora Hills. Emergency officials were able to rescue the trapped pilot as the plane went up in flames. No one was injured. The freeway reopened around 5 p.m. The USC Center for Cystic Fibrosis received a $1 million grant from the Anton Yelchin Foundation today. Yelchin was famous for his role in Star Trek and was treated for cystic fibrosis at USC for 10 years. The actor died in a car crash 2 years ago. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder affecting the respiratory and digestive systems. It blocks the airway, causing shortage of breath. Children with this disease have trouble gaining weight and growing. About 30,000 people in the U.S. have cystic fibrosis. We spoke to Dr. Peru Rao about what his grant means for USC.
If anyone had met Anton, you would understand how special this gift means. We are looking at different ideas to honor Anton's legacy and what he would want, and at the same time use the funds in a way that will make it easier for other people with cystic fibrosis to receive their care.
The grant will be used to help people with cystic fibrosis transition from pediatric to adult care. The LA City Council threw its support behind the proposition today. That's the California ballot proposal to allow local governments greater control over regulating rent. Annenberg Media's James Kutchin spoke to supporters and opponents about what Prop 10 might mean.
Activists held a rally today at Los Angeles City Hall in support of Proposition 10. The controversial ballot measure would give local governments in California greater power when it comes to rent control.
I believe that we do deserve to have affordable housing and rent control here in California. And I feel that it's a dire need for Californians.
California is one of the most unaffordable housing markets in the country. According to researchers at UC Berkeley, more than half of Californians are rent burdened, meaning they spend more than 30% of their monthly income on rent. This problem is near and dear to many Angelenos, more than 60% of whom rent rather than own their homes. Opponents of Proposition 10 say that the bill is bad for all Californians, including low-income renters. They argue more rent control will lead to even greater housing shortages by discouraging development.
And so for ordinary renters, it comes down again to the notion of a lottery. If you're in there and your city passes rent control and it covers you and your unit, you have it made. But your neighbor or the person who moves in next year or 2 years from now does not. And there's no place for that person to move into. So there might be some short-term boost for certain specific sets of renters in specific cities at certain times. Other than that, there will not be a big across-the-board benefit in any way.
Proponents of Proposition 10 lined up outside of the city council chambers for hours waiting to express their support. Their patience was rewarded when a majority of the council endorsed the measure. Activists hope this is the beginning of a bigger fight for affordable housing.
We think that many of the mega landlords and national and international private equity firms that have poured money into the campaign to oppose this, that attempt to confuse voters, know that this is a harbinger of more things to come.
Voters will make the final decision on November 6th. For Annenberg Media, I'm James Gutchin.
Well, it's been pretty hot during the day, but pretty cold at night. Let's toss it to Draco with the weather.
Hey guys, today is pretty typical for this time of the year. So low clouds and a little fog, and then mostly sunny for the rest of the day. As for the current condition is 71 degrees. As we look at tomorrow to the Big Bear area and Inland Empire, it's 61 and 80s. As for the Semi Valley, 81, Malibu along the coast is 70s. As for the USC, LA Basin is 79. It's kind of warmer and it's gonna getting even more warmer as for the rest of the week. Let's look at the 5-day forecast. From Wednesday to Sunday, it's gonna start from the 80s to the high 80s, and as the temperature is going to go higher by the end of the week, and we will feel more like a summer than fall with high 80s. And so please, guys, get ready for some beach time or hiking.
Sounds like fun. Thanks, Draco. A Mexican restaurant popular with USC students is celebrating its 95th anniversary. Our reporter Lulit Tadese visited El Cholo and sampled today's 95-cent special.
Just a few miles from the USC campus on Western Avenue, hundreds have lined up outside El Cholo, waiting to dine on the 95-cent anniversary special. Some people have been in line for hours before opening. Many have been coming here for years, such as Adrian Bates.
My mother used to take me and my two brothers on Friday night to different restaurants around the town, but El Cholo's was always one of our favorites, and it was always a great family night dinner, so it was perfect.
El Cholo has important ties to the USC community. USC alum Tom Graban has had fond memories of coming here since his college days.
Just thinking about El Cholo a few days ago before I even knew about this, because one of my screenwriting teachers, she had a class party here entertaining our class, 15 of us sitting in there having a meal, and that popped up in my head the other day, and that's probably one of my favorite memories there.
One of the restaurant's most famous fans is USC alum Louis Zamperini. Zamperini is best known for being an Olympic runner, but also for detailing his experience as a prisoner of war in the book and film Unbroken. His favorite dish also happens to be the anniversary special being sold all day today.
Here we have Louis Zamperini's favorite dish, the combo number 1, which is a cheese enchilada, rolled beef taco, refried beans, and rice.
Louis was also a close family friend to the owners of El Cholo. In fact, he once babysat the now owner of El Cholo, Ron Salisbury. Ron Salisbury is the grandson of the original founder. He explains what his relationship to Zamperini was like, and also what this business means to him.
And we were lifelong friends. I've been fortunate in this restaurant business to meet a lot of really interesting people, as you can imagine. Louis was head and shoulders above anybody else. I feel that the people that work with us, they enjoy being here. It's part of their lives. So it transfers to the people coming here. They have that good sense of being part of what we do too.
El Cholo's connection to the USC community is strong. Monday through Friday, USC students who bring their school ID can eat all food items for half off.
You guys know that I'm not a huge sports fan, but I have to say it's really exciting that the Dodgers are in the World Series again this year.
It absolutely is. Let's toss it to Robbie Aronson, our sports anchor, to find out more.
Hi guys, we'll have another score update on the World Series game after the break. And finally,
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
we ship it out back to Boston, where last time we checked in, the score was 2-0 to the Red Sox. The matchup between Clayton Kershaw and Chris Sale has so far been absolutely electrifying. Chris Sale started the game with 3 strikeouts in his first 4 batters. Now the game is 2-1 after Matt Kemp finally got a hit off Chris Sale to make it 2-1 with his home run. The Dodgers are looking to avenge their tragic Game 7 loss from last year. Now, let's take it over to Anwar and football. Anwar?
Thanks, Robbie. And go Dodgers. The Trojans are looking to bounce back this week against Arizona State after last week's tough loss at Utah. With JT Daniels in concussion protocol and Matt Fink out with a rib injury, Jack Sears might suit up as quarterback on Saturday. But this is a must-win game if SC wants to keep their Pac-12 championship hopes alive. The Sun Devils are currently last in the Pac-12 South, but all 4 of their losses have come by exactly 7 points. So maintaining focus for all 4 quarters is a top priority for the Trojans in this matchup. The Sun Devils make their trip to the Coliseum this Saturday in the crucial Pac-12 matchup, and they're going to look to maintain their 19-game home win streak when the game kicks off at 12:30 p.m. Now it's time for our weekly segment, Anwar and Robbie's prediction time. Rob, I might have missed the mark last week. We got the loss against Utah, but I don't see myself missing it again this season. But who do you have for this weekend's game?
You know, you said it earlier. We're on a 19-game home win streak, and I think the Trojans are going to make it 20. Even though there are some quarterback troubles at the moment, I'm confident that the Trojans are going to pull it out, and I'm taking them in a close one, 28-21. What about you, Anwar?
Look, Robbie, I agree with you. The Pac-12 isn't exactly known for defense, especially ASU giving up 32 points a game. So that means the Sun Devils are 104th in the nation in points allowed per game. I mean, sheesh. I mean, it doesn't matter if we have Jack Sears, Jack Macy's, or Jack Nordstrom in at quarterback. They're going to score touchdowns, and they're going to win. I got it 37-34, though, in a thriller.
And an update on our weekly predictions right now. Anwar and I are neck and neck with 3 correct results apiece. We've each missed 1 game, but at the end of the semester, if the scores are still tied, we'll go to our tiebreaker of the closest point margin per result.
Rob, you're going to have to sit and watch me on that Iron Throne when I win our prediction time at the end of the semester. Personally, I can't really wait until you put a crown on my head and bow to me as the king of sports. But, you know. That's it with us. Let's toss it back to our team at the desk. Guys?
Thanks, guys. Who wants to be a billionaire? People lined up today to have a chance.
We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Danny Trejo here. There was going to be a whole song and dance routine about how you should wait your turn to enter the train. But they got me, Danny Trejo, to talk to you instead. Look, when you don't wait your turn to enter the train, it's rude and potentially dangerous. And believe me, I know a thing or two about rude and dangerous. I'm Danny Trejo. Don't be like rude, dude. Be kind, like super kind. Excuse me.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
The lotto lines outside Bluebird, Liquor, and Hawthorne are longer than ever because the Mega Million jackpot is now up to a U.S. record of $1.6 billion. This is what people would do with the money.
The first thing I'm going to do is pay off my kids' college tuition.
Maybe buy a house, take a trip, and just relax. And let my money do the rest of it.
First thing, probably go take a vacation. Maybe for a whole year.
If the winner chooses to take it all at once, the $1.6 billion is reduced to only $905 million, and that doesn't include $330 million owed in taxes. The drawing is tonight at 8 o'clock. My last four digits of my ticket are 4263. I think it's going to be a winner.
Those sound pretty lucky to me.
Being a billionaire.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think I got the winning ticket.
What would you do if you win, Robbie?
Buy an MLS team.
Nice.
Well, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Roy Pankey.
And I'm Sophia Hausch. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.